So hopefully playing Tetris will be able to wake him up a bit. Yeah, Giovanni has started, and I believe I know what the issue is over here on Alex T side, because of having... I didn't pay attention to that before of the input displays, so Giovanni, please top out. Yeah, exactly, Hertz input display. I was like, oh yeah, that's probably because I had Shuichi play before, and Shuichi always has a different layout due to using an old card, so please increment the first two characters of the seed, and then make sure that Hertz input display. Yeah, I just stopped it intentionally, yeah, exactly. That's what I got by oops, forgot Hertz. So thanks for catching that. But yeah, having the Hertz input... Wait, what? I have input display on. Yes, Giovanni, you do have it on, but LXT didn't have it on, so your side was all good. It was LXT who had some issues. Sorry if I wasn't fully clear on that. Yeah, so all good on your side. LXT hopefully is now also all good. Obviously, if it happens a second time here that you forget to turn it on, I will, yes, Trev now. But yeah, if LXT for whatever reason still doesn't have it turned on, I'm gonna count that as a loss, because having it happen 2 times should never happen. Okay, so both players are ready. Good luck, have fun in the chat. So let's start game number 1 for real in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Oh, and let's make sure that seats and all are good. Yeah, 2F, input display, Hertz display. Does look perfect. So now we can actually enjoy this game. Yes, always here on level 18. There shouldn't be any issues in what the players do. As in, we shouldn't see any issues in their stacking, in their board states. Maybe, you know, some RNG stuff like we can see on LXT side, the high center. But other than that, it should not be any issues that these players face on the slower speeds, as in level 18 speeds. On level 19 the speed does always increase, and we advance to level 19 when the players have played 130 lines. There the speed does double, which means it's just harder to play. And yeah, there we need to fully pay attention to what the players do. Here, again, the players should not have any issues. Should is always the keyword, because we had to have games before of high-level players on like high-level rollers as well, who had just ended on like the first few lines. Sometimes just due to playing too aggressive, like only wanting to get a Tetris in the first lines played, for example. Sometimes just by really bad RNG. Yeah, so let's take a look at what these players are actually doing over here. As we can see, 121 for Giovanni, 121 for LXT, pretty much the same score we just had. And for whatever reason, yeah, okay, now my microphone has the proper volume once again. Sometimes my PC is like, yeah, I'm only gonna do your microphone at like 70%, and I'm like, why the heck do you do that? But yes, in the beginning it is quite neck and necky between these two players, which is kind of the worst that you want, as in, if you're a player, you want to be able to be ahead as soon as possible. So if you're neck and neck, that's generally okay, I'm on the same pace as my opponent, which is acceptable. If you're behind, then that's, yeah, always something that you want to avoid. Also, Giovanni quite high, getting nice 2 doubles into bar and Tetris, and another bar and Tetris as well. Nice line spin here by LXT. So taking that long bar and spinning it around, like rotating it. That can get the piece, as we can see once again here on LXT's side, to fit into places where it normally doesn't fit in. So yeah, 240, 241. So quite a nice opening for these players, but Giovanni is quite high, is open once again here now, needs something for the right side. Optimal bar does get the bars over Tetris to Giovanni, Tetris to LXT as well. One more Tetris to Giovanni, LXT has a J-piece dependency, did get the J-piece 1 piece too late, so it's now an L-piece dependency. L-piece doesn't fall down here for quite a while, so LXT is now in a bit longer cleanup process. Not quite Tetris ready here. and is now having the Tetris readiness and is open once again. This has allowed Giovanni to get about a 1 Tetris lead, and but Giovanni now having quite a funky board, getting the 2 spin as well, which means LXT getting the next Tetris is clean. So maybe it's now LXT's time to put some pressure here on Giovanni's shoulders. It is 319 against 305. And Giovanni actually was able to get a nice cleanup Tetris in, only to burn one more line after that, which means we now have 366 for Giovanni against 351 for LXT. So yeah, nice game here so far for these players. Getting to about 400k at 100 lines is, yeah, pretty good pace. Next set is Giovanni at 413 and 99 lines. LXT is gonna be a bit behind, but still within a Tetris. So next Tetris to LXT into 380, and one more to LXT. So 435, 403, a bit more than Tetris lead here for Giovanni, but it's still pretty much a neck and neck situation. Next Tetris to Giovanni once again here into now 458 against 403 still here for LXT. LXT is building up for the next Tetris, just waiting for the bar to fall down, now taking a double burn. Of course, when we are close to the level 19 transition, as I said, there will be a speed increase. You also want to stay low so that you don't have troubles in the transition. And Rodri is saying, I hope Giovanni takes the whole tournament. He was surely not the only one who does hope for that to happen. As always, I'm as unbiased as possible, of course. I might have a favorite, but in the end I just want a close tournament and as many amazing matches as possible. So one more Tetris here to LXT, 456, 530 here for Giovanni. Giovanni could get 2 more Tetrises, which is about 50k, so Giovanni in theory could get a 580, but his board has now got into a bit of issues, which means his priority number 1 should be the cleanup. He is now Tetris ready actually for the cleanup here, taking the safety double and still Tetris ready actually, waiting for the bar, getting the bar. So Giovanni transition at 559, LXT transition at 589. So about a 70k transition lead here for Giovanni, which is nearly 3 Tetrises. A Tetris on level 18 is worth about 24,000 points, which means about 70,000 points for 3 Tetrises. So yeah, 590, 521, next Tetris to Giovanni. And we can also see that the transition has been clean here for these 2 players in the first game. And this is what we want to see, clean transitions without any issues. And now aggression here on level 19, not having to burn too many lines and being able to go for as many Tetrises as possible. We can see these players now being in a bit of a drought situation. We can also see Giovanni now needing to burn a few lines, open once again into the next bar. LXT also in a bit of issues here now, having the long bar dependency in the center, but got the long bar. Is now setting up for the next Tetris, gets the next Tetris, while Giovanni also needs to burn a bit here to get it open once again. 660 for Giovanni, 594 for LXT. So there's still a bit of a difference between these 2 players, as and still about a 70k lead here for Giovanni. That hasn't really changed. And yeah, oh, LXT missed something, a few pieces in the center, but got the next pieces over for burns. One more burn here for LXT, so this is now survivable once again. Tough misthrow, but amazing reaction to that. Let's see if LXT can still get out of this. This board is not easy to play with, it's still gonna require good pieces, good placements, but LXT is getting both of that. As we can see here, the burning is going amazingly well as he is nearly open once again. And just as I said that he is open once again, ready for the next Tetris, but he fell behind a lot in points. It is now 764 for Giovanni against 619 for LXT. Next Tetris to both of them, so now 795 against 650. So yeah, Hannah also saying in the chat, this is going much better than the first set. Yeah, game number 1 has been so much better than the first set they played. This is peak Death Tetris that Giovanni is showing us in 18 and 19. LXT was also able to show us some peak and scoring and is showing us once again amazing survival here on level 19 is quite high here. Needs a bar. The bar doesn't fall down in time, which means LXT is now in quite tough burning situations. Ooh. And is topping out at 665, so GG's to LXT for the 665 here, saying I'm triple flipping with Daz. Oh, that's definitely unfortunate. And Giovanni could still go for 3 Tetrises, which means the max out on Giovanni's side here in game number one, just for a statement, is still possible. Let's see if he can do it. Longbow doesn't fall down in time, which means LXT is out, and Giovanni will also out as in lost this game. And we should have the 1-0 for Giovanni in just a few seconds here. Yes, we do. And yes, LXT or Alex, it's still first to for the first who wins 4 games has won the match. We now play a best of 7. So to me optimally, we get 7 games until level 29. Maybe even 1 or 2 to level 30. Well, realistic, that's always what I hope for. And also let's start the next game here. It's gonna be 3, 2, 1 Tetris. Okay, yeah, technically that's not what I always hope for. I hope for that if you have a situation where that's warranted, as in, you know, if I would play against LXT or Giovanni, and if that becomes like a 3-3, then I would genuinely wonder what has happened to them, because I'm quite the bad Tetris player. I'm probably the worst Tetris player who has played actively or like semi-actively since 2015, 2016, around that time. Not always NES Tetris, but actively playing Tetris since then. Yeah, here we are now, once again in a close game here, as we are neck and neck in the beginning. Alex seems to be in a few more lines here than Giovanni, which means Giovanni is now technically getting the next Tetris and also next Tetris to LXT. So 93 for Giovanni, having played a bit less than LXT. And LXT still replying to Hannah here, saying, oh, yeah. I feel like Death Champions League is the only NTSC online event that's doing best of 7s. I feel like all other NTSC events do best of 5s. I don't remember any best of 7, at least. And also the question from Rodri, how does he do that? Magic. You know, if you're a high-level Tetris player, then it's just magic at some point. Also, it feels like, at least. You know, these players have played so much that... Okay, I can only speak for Giovanni for sure. But, like, this is their second nature. It's like breathing to them. I burned 20 lines today because I had to try to change the music in the match. Yeah, I have no idea about that. It's, but, you know, it's just you play and you know exactly what you're doing. Like, for some players, it feels like they don't even need to look at the game board, they just need to know what the next piece is and they can do wonders. It's just that, yeah, it's just where we're in the Champions League playoffs. This is pretty much the highest level Death Tetris that you can get in an online... Oh, I apologize for that. I just had a sneeze and didn't manage to mute in time. Oh. I want to say, but this is like the highest level of Death Tetris that you can get in an online event here currently. Let's focus a bit here on the match, as we are at the halfway point and the players have been playing absolutely amazingly well so far. Maybe because they didn't know how their opponent is performing, but no, this is 350 for Giovanni, 340 for LXT at about the 70 something line mark. So yeah, this has been quite amazing, but you have 600k paces here. I'm not fully sure if we can get the 600k because that's RNG dependent, but yeah, What these players are showing us in 18 is just so impressive here today, once again. So let's see if the players will be able to keep up the pace that they had, or maybe at this point increase the pace a bit. They had to burn some lines here. 400k for Giovanni, 390 for LXT. And in the first game we had Giovanni go up to level 29 at like 930k dexterity to Giovanni, while LXT topped out a bit earlier, and that allowed Giovanni to win the game. 18 was amazing for both of these players, but Giovanni's 19 was more efficient than LXT's 19. And we're now in the last 30 lines, which means, yeah, Giovanni actually still on the 600k pace. It's gonna be quite aggressive to go for it, because there's not much in burns that he can afford. But it's possible. LXT, I believe also. So yeah, this is a close match between these two players. But they don't want to burn any line if they try to go for the 600k transition. I would not recommend that. My recommendation in these positions is, you know, the mix of play aggressive but have the safety that you won't top out. Okay, so Giovanni, 3 Tetris is possible, so this is still 600k-able for him. LXT is a bit off. Next Tetris to Giovanni. One more Tetris to Giovanni now. Yeah, LXT is going for the center burns here, which means he is not able to transition at, yeah, probably even 550. 616 transition for Giovanni, massive transition. And yeah, if you want to support players like Giovanni here, then feel free to donate to our match arena. We do have a match arena where you can donate to the prize pool, which will be awarded to the players at the end of the playoff phase. So, and Giovanni is now taking some burns as well here on level 19. And as we can see, the transition once again has been pretty clean here for these players. Not really any burns, any missteps here on the transition. So once again a nice game here so far. And Giovanni is able to, yeah, increase the lead here now to over 100,000 points against LXT. Both players clean, LXT getting the tag and next green SP is perfect. While Giovanni got the next Tetris and LXT is building 3 lines, getting the next bar. He does not have Death here, which means LXT is topping out at 616. 616 top out for LXT. So you now have the 2-0 for Giovanni. Yeah, Giovanni is really showing us here now what he can do. Let's see if he goes for the max out. I mean, would definitely be an option. Still saying got a slow tap. Slow tapping isn't really allowed over here in the Death Champions League. So if you, of course, if you tap pieces a bit like, I don't know, some players tap pieces like 1 or 2 sometimes, that's of course allowed, but you know, tapping all of the pieces slowly is not allowed at all. Yeah, Giovanni now at 918 at level 25. This is exactly the kind of game that you want. And thanks for the raid Tetris Wars of 14 viewers. I totally forgot that sound that we have it. But yeah, welcome. Oh. Yeah, good point. I apparently forgot to update that. It's not Adam Irish here, it's now the correct username. Maybe it needs a few seconds to update it. And Giovanni is on the casual 1.1 pace here. Uwe was saying he's practicing his at-home Jakob impression. It's really good. Yeah, definitely is. I apologize, I forgot to update the stream title. But yeah, welcome to the Tetris Wars Raiders. And just a casual death comp 1.1 by Giovanni. Can he? It would have been so amazing if he could have gotten into a... Yeah, it's a 1-off for 1.2. So, huge GG's here to Giovanni for the performance here. Amazingly well played. 1.1 comp. This is, yes, the viewers are saying this is crazy. This doesn't really happen. But huge GG's. Amazingly well played, did exactly what he needs to do. And looks like he's just ready to go once again. So let's do, asking for 41, ready, 41, yes exactly. So let's start game number 3 in 3, 2, 1. Tetris Danny saying, Alex, you gotta finish your laundry. Maybe. Actually, I'm not fully sure if that is laundry in the background. It does look like it is. Yeah, okay, I believe it is. Could also have been a bit, some plushies. But at least it does say welcome home, so we are all welcome home at Alex T's place. That's also nice to know. Yeah, so Giovanni here in the first 2 games was able to show dominance, being able to go to level 29 in both games, while LXT has yet to reach level 29 in this match here. And then Giovanni of course also got the 1.1 in the last game, as well as a... I actually wonder if you can hear the sound on stream as well, because it doesn't show in my audio mixer, the alert I mean. But also thanks to the raid, for the raid to Game Boy Tetris. Oh, I got some pings over there on Game Boy Tetris as well today. I hope I didn't mess up the day, because there was Game Boy League happening. Heck. Heck. It looks like I messed up my calendar. That's, no alerts out. Okay, that's good to know. Why is there no alerts out? Because over here I had a huge alert sound, which I believe is supposed to happen. LXT also topping out to 100k, which means you have a 3-0 for Giovanni. I'm not trying to figure out why the alert sound isn't playing and control audio from OBS. Interesting. I have no idea about the alert sound. And yeah, so we have now the match point for Giovanni in 3, 2, 1. Tetris, gotta keep the action going. Talk about action. We also do have an exclamation mark Discord, as well as an exclamation mark Matcherino. The Discord server is of course to follow the Death Tetris, and the Matcherino is to support these amazing players. We are now in the playoffs, which means in the last phase of Death Champions League Season 2. And if you want to support amazing players like Giovanni, then feel free to donate to the prize pool. And yes, the next step that I want to do, of course, is inform our next player, Solid Sofa, that they might be playing soon. As this is not the only match that we have here today. After LXT versus Giovanni, we will have the winner against Solid Sofa. And Rodri is saying, did any tie game last season, or did he truly get a truly perfect run? I'm pretty sure that nobody managed to get a perfect run. Yeah, there was at least one draw for all of the players. And Sofa saying, is this best of 7? Yes, this is best of 7. Alex also once again a bit of troubles here, quite high in the game. Is able to take the burns here. And now still a tough position. OP is not exactly what he wanted. Oh, this is looking quite tough for LXT. He needs something for the left side. This does work out. This single, one more single here. Tough burns. LJ dependency does not get filled in on time, which means LXT once again tops out early, which means we have a 4-0 sweep for our Italian player Giovanni. And yeah, Alex is saying, I don't play enough DAS for this. Yeah, I feel that. I do feel that quite a lot. But still a great performance here by LXT. The first two games were quite nice. Then we had a bit of, you know, stuff happening, but it happens to the best of us. And then he's saying to end the game quick to finish cleaning his room. Definitely can't go to CWC until he cleans his room. Oh, that would be kind of fun if you actually do some kind of self-imposed challenge like that. You know, not specifically for LXT, but in general. Oh, and Hannah saying, Andy was perfect 8-0-0. Oh, you mean last season? I was thinking about this season, yeah. True, last season, this season. And Silva saying, gonna go live right now. Okay, perfect. Which means I'm gonna prepare this next match here between these two players. So thanks to LXT for playing. It was nice to have you over here. And see you again in a different stream. I will now switch over to Salted Sofa. Of course, Giovanni can finish his game here. I'm just preparing the next match so that it will be a bit quicker to start. Hannah saying, I think a lot of people were playing for Jonas Cup prep. Could definitely be. Rodri is saying, a shame that the three best players I'm playing with big commitment. Yeah, it's big commitment. Definitely. And it's a good question also with best three players are. That will be answered at CTWC Des this year, because there's quite a lot of high-level players that weren't playing here. Like, of course, a few of the Americans who were in the top 4 of the Jonas Cup. The winner of last year's CTWC Des. So yeah. Not the highest level DES players that were... Wait, not all of the highest level DES players that were here this season. That's the correct phrase to use. And yeah, Danny's saying, but also leaves the door open for another player to get momentum and take their spot. Also correct if you perform well here during the DES Champions League, as let's say someone that maybe not have been on the radar could definitely, you know, mean that there's going to be a bit of pressure at the CTWC DES this year, which of course is happening here in Germany, Cologne, as the last editions also at the Experience location, which, I mean, pretty much everyone that I know agrees on is the highest quality Tetris venue ever. And yeah, okay, so Rodri is saying to him the best 3 DES players are Andy, Doc, and Fractal. We will definitely see who the top players are again at the CTWC DES this year. But yeah, we had the Jonas Newbar Cup, or as it's generally called, the Jonas Cup, where we had Fractal win, Blue Scooty being in second place, and then Meme and Andy. So that was, you know, over half a year ago. Then we had Giovanni on level 20, nice. We had Robin win CTWC DES, Giovanni plays in second place. So yeah, there's a lot of good DES players who haven't shown up here. And we have a bit of messages here in the chat saying, bro, did Scooty get second at Jonas Cup? Then he's saying Scooty was grinding DES a while before the Jonas Cup, which did pay out because he got second place, which means he is gonna be able to attend CTWC Des this year. And I'm saying Meme played good and overtook NGC, yeah, also that as well. So yeah, it's, if you ask me, it's quite tough to say who's the best Des player in the world currently, or like even the best like top 3 if you don't rank them individually. Due to pretty much 2 reasons. The first one being that it's just tough to say who's the best. And then also that we don't have, you know, that many DES events. By the way, I'm talking specifically about comp performance, not about all of the other performance. Yeah. Steel saying, well, the best is obvious, everyone's pretty close, Andy is a tier of his own. I'm gonna do a bit of the, you know, weird move and say that, honestly, Andy's comp performance in DES hasn't been that amazing as in in-person events. At least talking about DES specifically, so I'm looking forward to seeing him at CTWC DES this year to, you know, get my own personal real-life impression of his DES comp performance. I'm also not trying to say that, you know, Andy is a bad player or anything like that, just that to me there's a lack of DES events to definitely say he was like the top players. Dang, is 4 DES Masters in a row not enough? Okay, so here's a weird thing about me. To me, online tournaments have much less prestige than in-person tournaments. So far it's live, perfect. But for that, you should also know that I'm from a... Once again, this weird thingy. I'm from a maybe a bit different in like that regards generation, because the kind of esports that I watched when I was younger, for example, only had big in-person events, and of the online stuff was, you know, just existed. And once again, by the way, comebacks out here for Giovanni, amazingly well played. And yeah, as Steels also is saying, it's a different aura. As Hannah's saying, it's much harder to play IRL comps. It's different. Let's just say that it's different. And oh, there's no longer LXT, so I should update now to... So, of course, 020 and have salted. Does that work? Perfect, actually works. Also, let's give you the new seed. The new seed is 5902 EO. And Giovanni, if you need a small break, then just tell me and we can have a short break. But it looks like Giovanni's just ready to go here, saying, yo, Sofa, what's up? Good luck, have fun, my friend. And yeah, nice.